Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. So recently I did an unboxing of the Simon Says Stamp Home Sweet Haunted Home card kit from Stamptember, and I was asked if I would please show the pumpkin embossing folder first. So here we are. Some of my stuff from Stamptember was misplaced. It was kind of lost and I refound it. So we got started playing this past weekend. So I'm using my Canson XL, and I'm going to use the embossing folder and my distress spray stains in 4 different ways. So here I'm trying to figure out which is embossed, which is debossed. And I can't put it in words how I know. It doesn't make sense to me, but anyway, I did it. So this one I ran through just with the paper, no stains. I'll come back to that later. But right now it's just the folder by itself, and I just have to kind of admire the pumpkins themselves. They're beautiful, but that texture, that dimension, whether it's embossed or debossed, is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm loving all of that texture. So that was the first one. And like I said, we'll come back to that. This is the second panel. And obviously I'm putting my spray stains directly to the paper. Now again, remember that this is Canson XL watercolor card, so it can handle the moisture between the stains, and I come in with some water here in a little bit. So I am using the Harvest Moon and the Burning Ember from the kit, which I already had as well, but yeah, I'm using those. And then I wanted to bring in a little bit of green, so I have Tree Lot from a previous release, and loving this combo. I was going to let this one dry on its own, but I was impatient. So you can see I've got my embossing tool out there. So just kind of, I added a little bit of water to it. Now I'm just drying it, not moving things around a whole lot. Then I come in, of course, with some more splatter, and I think I even add a little bit more stain or more sprays, and then I do set it aside to dry. So here I am just trying to figure out the nozzle on this one. I didn't want a lot of the green. I just wanted some speckles and some spots. So I was just playing with it. Now this one, you have to be really careful. This is my third way of using the folder and the stains. And obviously I'm doing the spray directly to the folder. And when I say you have to be careful, it's because it doesn't look like there's a whole lot on there, but trust me, there's more than it seems. So if you do this one, go very light-handed because you don't need a lot. And so I run it through my machine, which by the way, I have a new Gemini Junior. And look at this gorgeousness. That is so pretty. I'm loving like that little pumpkin down at the bottom. Yeah, that spot right there is beautiful. And then up at the top right, beautiful. I just wanted there to be a little bit more texture, I guess, if you will. So that's why I'm coming in with just a little bit more of the splatter. Not that it needed more color because it's fully saturated. And I like that little play with the white spots in those different places that there is a white spot. But you can see how saturated that color is, and it didn't look like there was a whole lot on the folder. So that was my third, and now this is my fourth technique, and this is where I'm just taking that embossing folder with that leftover ink and I add water to it. And I put my cardstock in and I run it through again. Now this one did get a little bit messy. It did not get messy inside my new Gemini Junior, but obviously you can see that the outside was. I had some trouble. The learning curve on this was not easy for me. It was a steep curve, but we've got it now. And look at that. Look at that. I think that is my absolute favorite. Love it. All right, now this is the one that I sprayed the stain directly on the paper, and then I ran it through. There's a little bit of excess left over on that folder. So I wanted to compare the paper or the panel that has the spray directly to the paper and the panel that has the spray directly to the folder. So there's quite a bit of difference in the two. There's much more definition in this one. This is the one that had the spray directly on the folder. And I'm loving those splotchy bits and that play on white. Love it. But this one I think is my overall favorite. I feel like it needs a little bit more color, a little bit more splatter. So ultimately that's what I do. I come in with some more splatter. But before I do that, with this one, I just wanted to kind of highlight that pumpkin pattern a little bit more. So I come in with my white acrylic paint and my brayer, and I'm just brayering over the top. I want it to be really subtle, and the acrylic paint kind of reactivates some of those, or the pigment from the spray stains where the wet paint is hitting the spray stain. And so it kind of takes on the color of wherever I'm rolling that brayer over. And I like the way it kind of highlights them. It brings them out a little bit. So now we're back to the first panel. Remember, this one had no pigment on it at all. It was just plain card, watercolor card run through the embossing folder. And now I'm adding the pigment to it. So we're going to get to see a little bit of all the, I don't want to say all the ways that you can use them, because there's more than that. I mean, your creativity is your only limit. So this card is 5x7, and I'm assembling the cards, but it's just kind of going to be in fast motion, and it's more about, or this video is more about the techniques with the spray stains and the folders than it is about the assembly of the card. I'm using a variety of different products just from my stash, different companies represented. Yeah, I actually love to create that way and just kind of pull what inspires me from my stash versus just one company. Both are great, but this I feel like allows me a little bit more creative freedom. But again, this is a 5x7 card. This is the panel from the third technique where I put the ink directly on the folder and then ran it through. And I'm loving this card. I think it's really cute. Now you'll find as I go that even when I'm done, and I think I'm done, I have to go back and add more to it. So this was technique number 2, where I sprayed directly on the paper and then I had to go back and highlight it. This card is an A2. It's 5.5 by 4.25. And I used the Mini Thanks die from Whimsy and excuse me, and that beautiful gold glitter paper, but there was not, this one's very tone on tone, as you can see. And so I had to go back in, and we'll see in a minute, and I kind of highlight the words so that they stand out a little bit more. Now this is another 5x7 card, and this one was my favorite. You can see where I've added the splatters to that background just to give it a little bit more oomph, if you will. And I'm just using those frames. All the frames that I've used were just in my stash. I just pulled them out and they happened to be the right color and they worked with the cards, and I just thought that they were a lot of fun. So I have the Buckeye, I have the oak leaf, and I have the acorns. Those are new from Simon with Stamptember, and I wasn't going to get them, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. But then I realized I didn't have any leaf dies, any fall leaf dies in my stash at all. So I went ahead and got them. And I have to tell you, I'm loving them. I'm loving them. I'm not mad about it, as I say. So I thought that I had that friend one done. And then, of course, when I brought it up to the camera and looked at it close, I wanted to balance out that top corner. So you saw me adding the leaf and the acorns to that corner. And it just says friend. Now, I was going to put my friend, best friend, love you friend, friend hugs. I mean, anything that you could have thought of to expand on that friend word, but I just left it. I'm not sure how I want to use it, but when I'm ready to use it, I'll know, and I might just leave it. So on the last one, you saw where I was highlighting the mini. I just brought in a darker marker. It was one of my Arteza, I think it was lava colored, if I'm not mistaken, and just kind of went around the right hand side to add a bit of a shadow, and that allowed those words to pop a little bit more. Here's some more of these frames from my stash. Now the last one was the fourth technique where I added just water to the excess ink on the folder. This one we're going back to, this one was the second with the spray directly on the watercolor card, and then I ran it through. So loving all of them. They're all beautiful in their own ways. This one is way saturated, but I don't hate it. I actually love it. I love all of them, like I said, in different ways for different reasons. Now for this one, obviously it says happy birthday, and I have that glitter cardstock oak leaf, but I wanted it to go behind the P's a little bit. I wanted there to be a little bit more, well, I wanted you to be able to see the whole word, and so I just kind of tucked it in behind there. You can see it's behind both P's and the Y. So you can see the words and you can still see the oak leaf. And then here is the friend one again. And I decided, oh, still not quite done. So I come in with, I think this is Mercury Glass Stickles. And it's very kind of coppery. And it has some silver and gold in it as well. But I thought it was like the perfect topper to those little acorns. Thought they were really cute. Just another little touch of glitter. They all have a little bit of sparkle on them in some way. Now that one has the autumn is in the glitter, and that autumn word and the hugs, both of those are from Whimsy. That autumn word is stunning. That scripty font is beautiful, and it does come with the shadow layer as well. Now this one I just used the crystal glaze just to add a little bit of not so much sparkle as just some texture and some shine to the acorn caps and the little heart. And then that's the mini thanks. You can see how the mini stands out a little bit, or the words rather stand out a little bit more. It's not an incredible difference, but it does make the words stand out a little bit more. Very tone on tone. But here, guys, are all four of them in their glory. And again, you can see how you could easily add a sub-sentiment to say friend something, or my friend, or best friend, glad you're my friend, anything like that. And then this one could be, we talk about feminine, masculine cards. That one lends to the masculine side, in my opinion. But again, what makes a masculine card? What makes a feminine card? I think that it is defined, each of us defines that in our own way. So I think any of them would be perfect for any one that you wanted to give it to. Now, these little spots right here, these are my favorite in all the cards. This little spot is just so yummy. And that one right there, they're just so good. It's just my favorite. Isn't it funny how the little things just make you happy and giddy? Or am I alone in that? Am I the only one that gets happy and giddy by things like that? All right, guys. Well, we are wrapping it up. Let me know downstairs what you think. Did you get this kit? If not, did you get the folder by itself, or do you have any of the items from this kit? So many good things, and a lot of them can be bought independently. I'm not sure if things are sold out or not. I will list and link everything as I'm able downstairs. Most of them will not be affiliate links, but some of them will. But I thank you guys if you choose to shop my links, because that does give me a little bit of a commission at no extra cost to you, and everything that I earn goes right back into the channel. So guys, as always, I thank you for spending some time with me. Leave me a comment downstairs. You know I want to engage with you down there. And until next time, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Mwah! I'm out.